Yo, what up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today we got another champion on our hands. We got the CPW All African Champion. You've seen him on the channel before. Loudmouth, the Loudmouth, or otherwise known as for us Big Don, or like Sikielo likes to call him Big Don, which I feel uncomfortable calling you Big Don. I'm not gonna lie.
There might be less of me when you see me next time. I have been hitting the gym pretty hard,
Okay,
and I have dropped some weight.
so
So
not so Big Don
get
anymore,
that
just Don.
like a 2XL done,
Okay, I
not a
like it.
3XL, but a 2XL done.
I like it. Okay, Mr. Loudmouth. For the people that obviously the people all know you on this channel, but I think introduce yourself again to the people that haven't seen you before.
I am the undisputed, undefeated, oh so handsome, 24/7 R95 CPW All Africa Champion, baby, the loudmouth.
I like it. I like it. Look, you've been a busy man, and you still are gonna be a busy man. Like you got a lot going on. I mean, what you were in Cape Town last week? Tomorrow?
Yeah, I was in Cape Town. I was in Cape Town with Mother City Wrestling. Unfortunately, due to personal circumstances, I had to cancel my show tomorrow. Um, my sister's here from the UK, and she's only going to be here for a few short days. So I had to make the choice. Do I see my sister from the UK, who I haven't seen in 7 years, or do I wrestle? Luckily, the promoter was kind enough to understand my situation and allow me to skip this booking in lieu of another booking, so I can see my sister.
Look, I think that's the life of a wrestler. It's often family or work, and I think family should always be the first choice.
Oh man, listen, if I tell you how many Easters, birthdays, um, Christmases, special occasions that I've missed over the past 15 years that I've been wrestling, and every wrestler's got a story of a birthday missed, or if you married, an anniversary missed, or your kid's birthday missed, or something like that. It's just part and parcel of being a pro wrestler. Unfortunately, this is the last time my sister's going to be here. She's going to become a naturalized British citizen after this. So it's going to be tough for her to come to South Africa. So I got to take advantage, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, family is always first, like we say. So, like you say, you had to cancel this event, but next weekend, or when you guys see this video this weekend, you've obviously got the granddaddy of them all for you, Wrestle Monster 5.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
excited are you? I mean, you've already told us on all your socials that you were damn excited for this, but into perspective now that it's a week away, how excited are you?
Man, I am. I've got this. I've got this nervous energy that I didn't even have when it was the first Wrestle Monster. I've been waiting for this for so long, and it's an event that's really close to my heart. I won the All Africa Championship at a Wrestle Monster. Um, Unfortunately, I've had tragedy being at a Wrestle Monster. At the first Wrestle Monster, I was there. Um, the night of Wrestle Monster, my dad passed away, the first one. So the event's bittersweet for me in a lot of ways, and it's an event that's close to my heart, and I've only missed one. So it's something that I endeavor to do every single year because it is just so special.
As long as you're not pulling a Ric Flair and doing it at like 80 years old, doing Wrestle Monster 30, please don't. We don't need one last match for Loudmouth. Just when you know when to call it quits, call it
Um,
quits.
Come on, I've got one more match in me, brother. I can do it.
Pass out a
It's the
couple
ring, brother.
times in the ring, get up again. No, nothing happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, get into a headlock. Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope we don't see Loudmouth in that state. That's for sure. Okay, so your match this weekend, you're obviously defending your All African Championship against Johnny Palazzo and Mike Zander. Are you
Yeah,
worried?
man.
That's the question. Because the triple threat match, you don't even have to get pinned to lose that title.
Man, let me tell you something. I am I have never been in more peril as a champion as I am now. And I just don't know. I just don't know if I'm gonna walk out with it. There's so many factors, there's so many variables. I mean, Johnny Palazzo has been wrestling for well over 15 years. Mark Zonda went overseas and trained overseas and did wonderful things when he's there. And he's got a hell of a drop kick, man. He's got a hell of a drop kick. And I am, as they would say in The Simpsons, I'm in danger.
Look, can I be honest with you here?
And
Can I be honest with you here? I saw your video, your whatever that you put out on social media, and you had your eyes on a different title. Obviously, that didn't come to
I
fruition.
did.
Obviously, that didn't come to
I did.
fruition. Yep.
No, you see what happened was CPW has got a rule. It's different in other companies. CPW's got a rule where you cannot be a dual champion. And I had a decision to make whether or not I would give up my championship or keep it. Obviously, I decided to keep it. But now, out of spite, CPW is like, "Oh, well, you want to keep your title now? We're going to put you in peril. You know, we're going to do what we can to make sure that if you're going to go up to the next level and go for the next championship, that you damn well earned it." So yeah, my decision to keep my title may actually come back and bite me in the ass anyway. You know, give it up and potentially go for another title that you might lose. Get involved in the triple threat, and you start doing Steiner math on your odds to try and retain your title.
And you know all about Steiner math.
All of a sudden, your chances of survival are down to 33 1/3%, but then you add Samoa Joe into the mix, and it's 147 2/3% of a chance that you won't win. So, I don't know what else to say, man.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm hitting the gym every day. I'm eating right. I'm meditating. I'm trying to stay as calm as possible, and I'm going to do everything that I can do in my power to retain my title. Sometimes it's just not in your hands, man.
That is
Sometimes
true,
it's just not
especially in a triple threat match. I mean, you don't have to get pinned.
Exactly.
You do not have to get pinned to lose the title.
And let me tell you, man, these guys are the best of the best.
Yeah.
These guys are the best of the best. And yeah, I'm honored to share the ring with them. But at the same time, man, they better believe that they are going to get the Loudmouth in his final freaking Super Saiyan form, because I ain't giving it up.
That's what I wanted to ask, because you had your eyes on the main title. Now, my question was, and my thought process was, are you too concerned about that title? And are you not concerned enough for your own title that you have right now? You know, is your mindset shifted to, I want that? You see.
I've got a few sayings that I live by in my life, and one of the sayings that I have is, "You work with what you have, not what you hope for."
Okay.
So I have to work with what I have, and I've had it for a while, and I'm very proud of being the All Africa champion, and I'm going to defend it. But I'm not going to lie to you, my eye is on that championship. The big one is on it, and I'm going to be watching that match almost as closely as I'm going to be focusing on my match, because I want to see what's going on there, because the next step for me is not even the Commonwealth title. I'm going to go for the big one. I want the big one.
Look, I think you got a lot of work to do. You got to play. Your mind is probably your biggest enemy. Forget about these two men that you are in the ring with. They are a challenge in itself. But if your mind is not right, you're never going to beat them.
I know. It's mental as well as physical.
For sure. Okay. So that's your match out of the way for now. Let's talk about some of the other matches. I mean, I'm just going through what's on the CPW page because that's what's been announced so far. We've got Mr. Wrestling versus Joe Legend. I mean, Mr.
Yeah,
Wrestling's
man.
obviously a legend in the game against a man called Joe Legend, the Battle of Legends.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, Joe Legend, a former CPW heavyweight championship when we were Thunderstrike Wrestling. He was the champion. He lost that championship to Tornado, who then lost that championship to Mr. Wrestling. So here's an interesting dynamic for you because both both guys have won and lost that championship at different times of their careers. Now, when you are, I'll give you a bit of insight. When you are a professional wrestler, when you start out, you have a different mindset to when you're a little bit older. When you're an older wrestler and you've got more experience in the ring, everything comes more naturally to you. Just the way you carry yourself and act and things like that. Now, both of these guys have that factor where they've won it, they've lost it, they've got it back. Joe is a little bit more traveled than Mr. Wrestling, but Mr. Wrestling has defended that championship in India twice. So it's not like he's going in there unprepared. He's just going in there with a guy that has literally crossed the Atlantic Ocean 96 times to go from Canada to wrestle in the UK. And that's the difference between Mr. Wrestling and Joe Legend.
So
It's not the age. It's not the age there. It's the mileage.
so I'm gathering you thinking that Joe Legend is gonna come out on top here. That's the vibe I'm
Legend is
getting from you.
purely because of Mr. Wrestling's recent inactivity
Yes. I mean,
in the ring.
how it's been a while.
That's the only thing that I'm concerned about. And in that time, Joe Legend has wrestled 40 times.
Is this Mr. Wrestling's swan song? Is he on his way out? Is he mentally, just like you've got that mental battle, is he also, do you think, mentally sitting there thinking, this is giving in, my knees are giving in, my back's giving, whatever the case is, maybe he's feeling perfectly fine. But is he thinking, I'm on my way out here? And does that play a big
Yeah.
factor?
I'm gonna talk out of house now. Mr. Wrestling and I go back a long time in wrestling. 13, 14 years. We are friends outside of the ring. We sometimes we train at gym together. Sometimes we go to each other's house, we have food and things like that. He has spoken about it more than once. More than once. And I think it's going to play on his mind because even he said to me the other day when we were at gym, he said, Don, I don't know how much more I've got left in me. And I laughed it off because, I mean, here I am busy, I'm busy doing preacher curls with a 24 kilogram dumbbells, and he's got a 48 kilogram dumbbell, and he's standing there next to the machine, just like, holding this dumbbell like he's, having a cigarette outside, that type of thing. But he mentioned it, and I turned and I laughed, and I looked at him, and he wasn't laughing with. So I know he's thought about it.
So there's a possibility he's mentally checked out. That's always a possibility. I mean, but at the same time, in saying that, you don't be the CBW champion for that long and not have the mental strength of an ox.
Oh, dude, and this is the thing with Mr. Wrestling, because you'll be sitting there and he'll just be like zoned out and everything like this, and man, you turns it on like that.
So that shows.
You like.
Sorry, just an observation. So that shows, even though he's been inactive for so long, he can probably switch it on just like that as well.
Dude, it's crazy. When he was having his feud with Brody Steele, in India, something happened in India where he was defending his championship against Brody Steele that gave him this mental toughness that he didn't have before, and he's able to just to just like at a drop of a hat, just switch it on. And he never used to have that before. So that is something I've rarely seen in other guys, and he's just got this ability, man. We'll be sitting at gym, just starting out just light and everything like this. Next thing he'll just turn around, man, and that machine's on fire, and he's got it stacked up where he's pushing 120, 130, 140 kilograms. You're still trying to get a work up to that weight, and he's already bench pressing 140, 150. And it's a matter of 5 seconds, and he's on.
That's crazy. That's honestly crazy. Sorry.
Watch him work out of the gym. He's an animal. At his age, he shouldn't gym like that. And myself, who's what, 16, 17 years younger, I struggle to keep up with him.
Look, I think you're playing yourself down there a little bit, but I think it's going to be a tough match regardless. I think we might see a new champion. I think that could be a good and a bad thing as well. Could bring some new freshness. Could also be a bad thing. The good old faithful is sometimes a good thing. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
And I've got my eye on Joe. I do have my eye on Joe. I'm not gonna lie.
You still got a championship to worry about. That's all I'm saying.
I know.
Okay, next match that we can have a little look at. We got Anansi versus Dirty Angel. I'm gonna be honest. I know a lot about Anansi, not too much about Dirty Angel. So I'm interested to hear more about him and see more about him.
He is a second generation superstar. His father, Dirty Angel, came up with Brits and Furchus and the Van der Westhuizens and things like that. Very ruthless family, very cunning. There's not a lot of when you look at a family, hug mom, hug dad, family camaraderie, togetherness. He will hug, he will hi mom, hug you, hug his mother. When it comes to his father, you can just see they got daggers for each other. I'm number one. I'm still number one. I'm number one. They still got daggers for each other, and that's a dangerous thing because you don't know what angle they're coming from. And all the Angels boys are like that. They are cunning and ruthless and just not nice. I don't know how else to put it. They're just not nice.
Look,
man, they got ways to hurt you as you haven't even dreamed of yet. You still thinking about it, and man, they've just come up there and they've just got into your head and under your skin, and you just fuming, and you start to lose your head because when somebody gets at you like that, man, you tend to let your emotions speak for you, and it gets under your skin, and you can't help just lose your freaking mind.
Look, I'm looking.
These guys, the mind games, they are absolute freaking masters at mind games.
I'm looking at a picture of him right now, and I must say he looks terrifying. He looks absolutely terrifying. I would not want to do an interview with him. I think I would chicken out. And my question is, does Anansi, obviously Anansi's a legend in the game as well. I mean, he's also an APWA champion, but obviously that's not on the line. But
no.
Does he have the strength, the ability to take on someone like how you just described? Someone a bit more cunning, a little bit more, not your typical, not pro wrestler versus pro wrestler. This is pro wrestler versus a dangerous man by the sounds of it.
Oh yeah. Anansi is going to have to do something that he hasn't done for in a long time, and that's box street smart. Anansi is a great technician in the ring. He's got the ability to brawl, and he's got the ability to half fly and things like that. Does he have the ability to be? They've got to be he's got to get the dog in him. Anansi's smooth and refined, and it's headlock into the hammerlock into the face lock, takedown, things like that. I haven't seen the dog in a nuns in a long time. In a
Is he ready
long
to
time.
brawl? I think that's the question.
That's a tough question to ask because he
Mm.
hasn't done it. Not that he doesn't know how, but he hasn't done it. I'm talking about in the days of Skull, in the days of Jacques Roux, and things like that. And Anansi was very young, 21, 22 years old. He's what, almost 40 now. You know, he's wrestled a different style for so long. I don't know if the dog is still there. He's going to have to pull it out of somewhere if he's going to have to beat this kid because he's going to have to get mean. He's going to have to get dog mean. Like one-eyed, one-eared, half a tail, bite mark, freaking dog-ass mean.
Very, very true. I mean, his match against PJ Black was technical, do this, do that. Looked all smooth. He didn't have to really get in. He did, of course. I mean, I'm not discrediting what he did. He had to dig deep, but he didn't have a man coming for his. I don't know how to put this in words. Coming for his guts. Coming
He
for
did. He didn't have to fight for his life,
yes,
and this is what he's going to have to do.
yeah.
He's literally going to have to scrap for every single breath that he has to make sure he comes out of this because Dirty Angel's literally coming for your oxygen. He's literally coming for the oxygen in your blood, and you have to do everything to stop him. So, Ananzi, if you're watching this, you better get the dog, boy. You better find that pit bull in you somewhere, because goddamn, you're gonna need it.
I honestly think he can though. Thinking about it, I think he'll find it within him. I don't put it past him.
You know, I've known Ananzi for a very long time. He trained me in the ring and everything like that. It's there. It's there. He just has to find it.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
just has to go to that place. He just has to go to that place in his mind and find it. That's all.
I think that's a very interesting match. I think that it adds a whole new story, a whole new aspect to that match, and I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, next match. We got a match with Andro. I hope I'm pronouncing this correct. If I'm not, I apologize. Andro Perez's.
Oh, he cares. He's a dink anyway.
How do you pronounce his name correctly?
And Andrew Perseus.
Perseus, that's it. Andro Perseus versus Boom Bang Mampela.
Yeah.
You say it's a dick, so I don't
this
feel
is
sorry for saying his name wrong. I just want to put that out there.
Oh no, he's an ass.
Okay.
Anyway, I paid him. I paid him to protect me at Mother City Wrestling in the main event in the tag match, and I ended up getting kicked in the face. So, it was the worst $50 ever spent in my life because he's cheap. And I got kicked in the face. I bled everywhere. He laughed, so he can kiss my ass.
Don, I just want to say, or Loudmouth, I just want to say, you paid $50. You deserve to get kicked in the face. If you paid me $50, I would have been like, listen, I'll take it.
Listen,
You getting kicked in the face.
listen. If you were a lady with affordable intentions, you would also be cheap.
So I take it we saying Boom Bang Mampela is gonna take this one because we clearly don't like.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I'm saying
I
that
didn't
then.
say that. You see, Boom Bang. Now this is one of those things where an unknown factor can be a breath of fresh air.
Okay.
You mentioned with Joe Legend, old reliable and things like that. Sometimes new and exciting is new and exciting. I've seen this kid train. He is a hell of a high flyer. We're putting him up there with Alicia and with Matthew Hammer, in terms of high flying and things like that. So the boy knows his way around some airspace, but he's going to have to think of a way to get 130 kilograms off his feet.
Yeah, true
You
that.
can fly. You can fly as much as you want, but if you're not getting him off his feet, you ain't doing shit.
You're just gonna hit
Pardon my
him,
language.
and he's just gonna stand there, and you're just gonna fall to the ground.
Oh yeah, you're gonna make him angry. You're gonna
Yeah.
make him angry. But again, getting angry and getting emotions involved and things like that. it's also, one of those things where it could work against you.
For sure.
Man, and this kid is 21 years old, you know, and the younger kids, man, they've got a hunger in them to succeed. They're willing to do whatever it takes. I mean, you've seen some of Alex's ladder matches and things like that. The kid's fucking nuts. Sorry. But he will do whatever it takes to get where he needs to be, sometimes to the detriment of his own health. But he will need to. He wants to. He's young and he's hungry and he wants to succeed. And Andre Perseus better watch out, because he might be caught off guard here if he's not squeaky clean. And I'm talking about squeaky clean in his execution. And if he doesn't, man, he could be on the end of a very embarrassing loss.
Could it be?
So he needs to watch out.
Could we see like a Razor Ramon versus 1-2-3 Kid kind of an upset?
Oh hell yeah, most definitely, most potentially. Andrew Perseus needs to keep a swivel on his head, boy, because this kid is lightning. This kid is lightning.
Okay, that interests me then. If you're not just outright saying Perseus is gonna win, there's no two ways about it, then I'd be like, okay, yeah. But you saying there's always that chance.
Look, we're talking about professional wrestling here. Let's be honest. The people use that F word. But you still need to get into that ring and beat the person standing in front of you. No matter if you know how to take a bump or a slam or whatever it is, you still need to beat the person in front of you. You still need to get them into that position where you can beat them. And if you're not mentally prepared to do whatever it takes to get to that point, you could land up kissing more mat and seeing more scar than you would like. And once again, we've mentioned it, mentality. Your mentality has to be on point all the time, or you could land up freaking seeing your backside. End of story.
Yeah. Look, I think it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, like you've said. And if it goes wrong, you're going to know about it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Here's a match that interests me. Let's move on to the next one. We got former Bullet Club member Marty Scurll versus TJ Tremor. Now, I've seen a little bit about TJ. I saw his YouTube video. It's been a while since he's been in the ring. As far as unless I got that wrong, or it was a while since he'd been on YouTube. But either way, I think he hasn't been as active as he'd like. And then we've obviously got Marty Scurll, who was known worldwide, and here he's coming down to Wrestle Monster 5, have a little match with somebody.
Yeah, no. This one's interesting because this is I wouldn't say a test your waters kind of thing, but Marty's coming down here to test the waters, because there are other guys he has his eyes on, and he is starting with TJ Tremor, and it's not going to end with TJ Tremor. He has come down here to start scouting.
Okay.
And it's not just the fact that he's been watching TJ Tremor and he's chosen TJ Tremor for his matches. I've noticed on YouTube and on Facebook and things like that, he's been noticing the other guys. He's been looking at Alicia and liking Alicia's videos. He's been looking at my videos and liking my videos. He's been looking at Mr. Wrestling stuff and liking that stuff and liking Anansi stuff. He's not here to just do a one and done. He's looking.
So he's not here for a quick payday, is what you're saying?
No, not at all. He's got his eyes on one of us.
Okay.
He's got his eye on one of us. And the fact that he chose TJ Tremor first, I don't think it's a negative thing. But for the rest of us, I don't actually think it's a positive thing either. Because if he's got plans to get one of the champions. Yeah, he's been doing a good job with scouting around, and you know, you got to keep your eye on that, because here's a guy um, that is international good, international good, and he's watching your matches, and he's scouting, and he's seeing, and he's liking, and he's looking, and you look at that, and you go, oh, I'm flattered he's looking at my stuff. And then you look at what he's looking at. He's looking at the championship wins. He's looking at, I'll put a video up of the Burning Hammer. He liked that video, but he didn't like the other one where I did the spine bust on Alicia. You know what I'm saying?
He knows what he's looking at.
He knows what he's looking for. And now you in your mind, you're going, well, what, he's looking at this, but not looking at that. What's going on? And I've wrestled TJ Tremor. Okay, fair enough. It was in a rumble, but I did manage to swing 5-6 minutes with him. Alicia's wrestled him. He's wrestled with Ananzi. He's sparred with Mr. Wrestling and things like that. Marty Scurll has looked at that and has liked those videos and studied those videos. And that, for us, for all the champions here, is a warning sign.
He's just telling you, hey, I'm there. I'm there. I'll see you. No. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. So now when you start training, and you're doing videos in the gym, now you're like second guessing. What do I put out? What don't I put out? What content do I put out? What don't I put out? What is he watching? What is he not watching?
You don't want to put out too much. That's the thing. You don't want to put too much behind the scenes stuff. Give him some insight. You don't want that.
You don't want to put out too little. Because once you start putting out too little, now people are like moving on to the next thing. They're not looking at your videos; they're looking at somebody else's videos. So he's got you walking a tightrope. So we're going to be watching him as much as he's watching us.
So obviously, with that all being said about Marty and him watching everybody and him picking TJ at the end of the day, there's a huge opportunity for TJ. Like, if he beats Marty, it ends it all for you guys. Marty can't come and challenge you guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we like, hey TJ, you go boy, Dream Machine, woo!
Look, if TJ gets this win, I think that puts him on a whole new level as well. Then you guys got to start watching TJ and being like, okay, maybe I should be worried about you rather than Marty Scurll.
I'm more worried about a ROH superstar coming after me than some 23-year-old.
Oh, some 23-year-old.
I'm just saying. I mean, you've wrestled guys like Mark Briscoe and Jay Briscoe, Delirious, Kenny King, and now you're coming for my championship, or TJ Tremor. Who would you
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think it's
apples for apple. I would rather have TJ.
Yeah, I think it's a very exciting match. I think it could potentially be, let me say this because you're right in front of me and I'll probably see you at some point, besides your match, could be one of the matches of the night. Don't forget, I still owe you those chops as we stand right now, but that's a topic for another day.
Why? Because you're wearing a crap red shirt.
Because of this, pointed at the wrong side. Because of this, because of this top 4. But we'll talk about that another day when those chops are ready for you. Let's move on to... Yep.
We're going to put on a run and I'm going to chop you so bad and then I'm going to chop you in your back.
Why would you chop me though? That's not part of the bet. That's not how it works.
Oh, no, I'm just going to chop you. I'm just going to...
Just for the sake of it. Okay.
Just, Ken.
The last and final match announced. I'm not sure if there's anything else. Maybe you have some more insights into that. We got a Fatal 5-Way, or a Capture the Flag Fatal 5-Way. We got Alicio. We got Exterminator. We got Zizou. We got Joshua the Bull. And we got Jason Voorhees. Who's your ideal pick for that? Or what do you think about that match? Because what is a Fatal 5-Way capture the flag match actually in the first place? Sorry, I asked you about 10 questions there.
No. That's fine. Basically, what's going to happen is here that the guy that captures the flag can choose to have a championship match at any time within the next calendar year.
Okay.
So think about your money. Think about your money in the banks. Think about your King of the Mountains or your all in matches in AEW and things like that. This is what this match is about. Now, this is an opportunity for these guys to be that joker in the deck that nobody thinks about. Because now I'm planning to retain my title, but I'm also got an eye on Joe Legend or Mr. Wrestling. Now one of these guys wins. So you've got the power of Exterminator. You've got the high flying of Alicia. You've got the strength of Joshua the Bull, and you've got the strength and experience of Exterminator and the unknown factor of Jason Voorhees. How do you plan for something like that? How do you mentally prepare for something like that? You can't. The amount of X factor in this match is exceedingly high for the match itself. Now you spoke to me earlier. You're going, you wanted Alicia versus Marty Scurll. Okay, that would have been a great match. You could have had Zizo versus Marty Scurll. Both of them trained in ROH. But now you've taken that, you've bypassed the Marty Scurll match, and you've bypassed the Andra Perseus match, and you've bypassed everything else. Now Anansi is the number one contender with an asterisk because you've got another number one contender. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Now you start to have that unknown element. He's got 12 months to cash it in. We've got the Arnold Classics coming up. We're going to be wrestling at Arnold's events. There's something else that's coming up that's huge and exciting that is still in its final discussion. There could potentially be a tour to India that is in its final stages of planning and implementation.
Big stuff planned.
Now all of a sudden, you've got all these other things. Plus, there's road shows that are coming up. Now you take it to come to next year, you could still cash it in at next year's Wrestle Monster. There's still time. You know what I'm saying? You've got a year to work on your plan.
Yeah.
So this match looks like it's a throwaway match. It's a very, very calculating match for the person that wins. Because now all of a sudden, everything's pointing to one tip of the spear like this, and you come from the top, boy, and you smash everything.
Look, I think you've just helped clear it up, because at first I thought this is just a Fatal 5-way to get some guys on the card, and I was like, some of these guys could really be doing some big things. But the way you've just explained it, it's actually arguably more important than some of the championship matches even.
Potentially, you've got a match here that could very well main event this show, because the stakes are so high and it's that important that it could potentially be right on top of the pile. Because for every other champion going down, you could have a serious problem. It's either 120 kilogram exterminator problem, 100 bench pressing almost 300 kilograms, Joshua the Bull problem, an experienced Zizu Midu problem, a high-flying Alex Zaya, Alicia problem. You could have an X-Factor Jason Voorhees problem. You don't know.
That's very challenging for the champions in this situation.
At least I've got, there's Johnny Palazzo, There's Mark Zander. Mr. Wrestling's got, there's Joe Legend. Ananzi's got his number one contender match that he needs to worry about. Cool. Here's the guys here. But now there's 5 other guys behind him, and 5 other guys behind him, and 5 other guys behind him. Mentally speaking, this is probably more of a chess match than it is a freaking extravaganza, because so many little pieces are in play here. It's hard to keep up with everything. And if you try and keep up with everything, you can end up losing everything. It's just it's that important.
Look, I think there's the one thing I really like about this match is, like you just said, you've got the power of Joshua the Bull, you've got the size and strength of the Exterminator, you got the mindset of Zizou, you've got Alicio who can do the technique, he can do the high flying, he can do anything. I think it's really a clash of styles, and they always say styles make matches.
That's it.
And I think this clash of styles is really going to turn into an excellent match at the end of the day. Albeit I wasn't too sold on it before.
Like I said, it could be more important than the main event, because it's got that ramification with it.
Look, I like that. I like the fact that there's so many important things on the card. There's your match. There's the world title match. There's Ananzi's number one contender match. There's a match that could make a potential star in TJ Tremor and Marty Scurll. There's this match. I mean, it's all over the card. It's just importance left, right, and center.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's important that a big show like this has the gravitas to be important, And look, there's a lot of wrestling coming up. There's a lot of wrestling coming up. You got to try and digest everything. WrestleMania's just been, a lot of people on the Easter weekend won't be able to get down to PE to see this event. They're going to be up in Joburg. Is the HWA event that's going to be happening? They're going to do their tournament as well. There's just so much importance happening around South African wrestling at the moment. It is just fantastic. There's so many moving pieces and so many moving parts and things like that. It's just a great time to be a fan of South African wrestling.
Look, I'm loving it. I mean, I'm new to the South African wrestling scene. I say new. I've had my eye on it, but I'm new to being involved in it over the past year. And I got to tell you, it's one of the best things I've done in my life is get involved in this scene, because the people I've met, like you, for example, the matches I've seen, the events I've gone to, it's honestly been fantastic. And I'm so happy I've done it. And I'm sad that I can't make it out to Wrestle Monster. It's just so goddamn far for us Joburg people. I would have loved to have been there. Maybe I'll hop in your suitcase or something like that if I can fit. And
hey, listen, yeah, I just drove 1,450 kilometers down to Cape Town, wrestled Friday, got rained out on Saturday, wrestled Sunday, got in the car and drove 1,450 kilometers back. It's like 15, 16 hours in a car. It's a nightmare. Just the travel alone freaking killed me half to death.
I can imagine. I mean, and you're practically traveling halfway there again next week.
Exactly. So yeah, I need to make a decision, man. Either I need to driving is just, I don't know, maybe I'll have to fly. I don't know. Maybe I'll open up an OnlyFans account and show off my toes or something like. I don't know.
Just get a private jet. Just get a private jet. You're a champion. Where's your private jet? CPW. Where is Loudmouth's private jet to travel to all these places?
I was promised an electric car. Where's my electric car, Bruce?
Look,
I need money. Give me coins. Just throw nickels at me. Dimes. Do it. Just throw it, man. Throw the money. Do it. Come on.
How did we
I need to pay for the cow in Port Elizabeth.
How did you just turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger? Please explain that to me.
I don't know. I don't know what could happen. Okay, kiss my muscles and tell me I'm pretty.
I think if the Loudmouth gimmick ever fails, just go all out Arnold Schwarzenegger in the ring.
Yes, I must get to the chopper.
Look, Loudmouth,
Come on, get me a chopper. I need one. A whirly bird. Go chop chop.
look, Loudmouth, it was a pleasure having you on. I appreciate it. I think, I don't know, I need to ask Arnold Schwarzenegger where Loudmouth went because you just turned into him. But I'm super excited for Wrestle Monster. Where can people find you? What days are the events? What days the events? All that sort of stuff. Please tell us.
All right. You can follow me on my socials, the Loudmouth Appreciation Society on Facebook, Loudmouth SA or Loudmouth underscore CPW on Instagram, Loudmouth SA on TikTok. I do not have an OnlyFriends, so don't do
Yet.
that. I'm on Twitter as well, Loudmouth SA. Yet. I need a chopper. Man, this event's going to be the 7th of April. It is going to be from 5 p.m. onwards if you're in the Eastern Cape or the Western Cape, KwaZulu-Natal. It is a drive, but you can get there. Don't worry about it. We will also be making an announcement. It will probably be broadcast live on one of the socials. We haven't quite cleared that yet. But if it is, we will announce it. I don't think we're going to do Fight TV this time around. We might do 360 degrees. They did the wrestling channel last time, and it was a great success. So we might do that, or we might do Facebook Live. It hasn't been announced yet, but we are going to do something. So please keep your eye on social media, and we will let you know. Even if I have to take my phone and record the event myself, I will do it. I don't care, because damn, this is going to be, for lack of a better term, the Wrestle Monster on the African continent.
Awesome. Thanks, Loudmouth. See you next time.